We are in the Rhode Show kitchen this morning. GoProvidence.com. Chef Dave Cardell from Temple downtown. We're going to be making Lamb Tagine.
Yes.
And the tip you're giving us is, what is Lamb Tagine?
Well, Lamb Tagine is it's a stew, Moroccan stew. We brown the meat. We have some nice spring lamb. I've got prunes, apricots, julienne orange zest, some garlic. So it's very bright flavored springtime dish.
Now, we were talking off the air just a little while ago when I was asking you about, cooking lamb. A lot of people, I know it's a very Middle Eastern, a lot of Middle Eastern people cook with lamb. A lot of Portuguese people cook with lamb. Some people get scared of lamb because it may have some, an aftertaste or a different taste. But you are going to sweeten this up a little,
Oh, absolutely. Right? It's both a sweet and savory dish.
Right, yeah.
Delicious. Like I said, there's very bright flavors in it. We have cinnamon, we have honey, we have, like I said, the orange zest, coriander seed. So it's a very flavorful dish with a lot of different elements in it.
So not to be scared off by lamb.
Absolutely not.
All right, some of the other things you have now. These, this is prunes.
Prunes,
yep. Okay.
Dried prunes, dried apricots.
Okay.
Sweet local butter.
Now, what does that smell? I mean, second you walk in this kitchen this morning, you can smell something. It's not the lamb, it's not the prunes, but it is
the coriander and the orange zest.
The coriander, and
yes.
That will add what sort of like a zest flavor
well,
to it?
A citrusy, a bright citrus flavor, and the coriander like cilantro.
Okay.
It's a cilantro seed, actually.
All right. And how much, I mean, we have a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of meat here. How much will this make for everybody?
This will be for 4 to 5 people.
4 to 5 people, perfect. Yes. And we'll just, almost like a beef stew, is that how we're basically
Exactly, and we're serving it over couscous.
Oh,
very traditional
which is even
Moroccan
better.
dish, yes,
yeah.
exactly.
And that's easy to make as well.
Oh, it's simple, very simple.
Okay, so we have all of our ingredients ready to go. We have the lamb. We're going to start cooking in just a little bit. In the meantime, back to you.
It's going great. We are about to start up making that couscous with Chef Dave Cardell from Temple downtown. First of all, what is couscous for those who don't know?
It's really a wheat pasta. It's just dried in the sun with water and dried out in the sun, and then literally worked into these little pebbles.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's what I mean. I've been eating couscous for so many years, and for so long I thought maybe it was a rice or something. You don't realize that it's pasta because it's so tiny.
Right.
So how do we make this?
It's so simple. It's just boiling water. I've got a teaspoon of cinnamon, ground cinnamon, and just maybe a teaspoon of butter right inside.
Great.
You just let that butter melt for a minute. We're going to just add the couscous.
And how long does that cook for?
Well, really, we're just going to bring it back to a boil, and as soon as it boils again, we're just going to shut it off, and we're going to put the cover on, and we're going to let the water soak up into the couscous, and then in about 10 minutes, we'll fluff it up with a fork and make it nice and fluffy and airy.
Excellent, and nice good flavor too from that butter and the cinnamon that's in there. And something else you said, we have our fruit here.
This takes about 20 minutes, so we're going to get this started for our tagine. These are dried plums or prunes. Nice and sweet, and we just put that in some hot tap water, and the apricots. And what we want to do is we want to soften them up and bloom the flavor out of the fruit, so we get the nice sweetness when it goes in with the lamb. Yes.
Yeah. Can you do that with any dry? Would you suggest that if
raisins, exactly, currants, any kind of dry fruit, exactly. If you're going to cook with it.
Excellent. And you have this lovely piece here.
This is a tagine.
Oh, that's the tagine.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We actually use the decorative. There's 2 different types. In Morocco, they actually cook in them. What they do is they diffuse the heat over coals, and they add the lamb and all the liquid, the broth, and all the ingredients, and they cover it and they let it simmer. But I like to brown the lamb because I like the nice caramelized flavor that we get from it. So we cook it in a pot, and then we serve it in this tagine, the decorative tagine at Temple.
I like that. Well, I'm excited to try it. We're going to get things going in just a bit. Back to you. Back in the Rhode Show kitchen this morning, GoProvidence.com brings us Temple downtown, and Chef Dave Cardell is making up a fabulous lamb tagine. We love that.
And it's sizzling away already.
Sure is.
It is. Right now we're just browning.
Browning the lamb,
Okay, and really simple, high heat?
Yes, high heat with extra virgin olive oil. I've got a little bit of salt and pepper on it. Okay. You want the lamb cubes to be about an inch inch squares, because they're going to cook down. I use a lamb shoulder for this, which is a tougher muscle. So we actually want to braise it until the meat is really tender. Okay, so we're browning it to get the flavor.
So is that's the trick to cooking lamb? I mean, for someone who may not have cooked lamb before, is just cooking it somewhat slower.
This style, yes.
This style,
but if you're doing lamb chops, I would do those on the grill.
All right,
nice high heat. Sure. But because we're going to braise it, we just want to brown it up and let it go low and slow.
Perfect.
All right. So from here, we start adding some of our garlic. About a tablespoon of garlic.
Everything always tastes better with garlic, doesn't it?
We're going to add a little more just in case. All right. Then a little bit of ginger. And as I said, this is. Oh, you can actually hand them to me. That'd be good.
Yeah. What else?
From there, we're going to the dry fruits.
The dry fruit, and these smell great. I mean, this is apricot and
those apricot and prunes.
And those we just threw in some hot water, some hot tap water, right?
Exactly. To plump them up and give more flavor. Exactly. Make the sweetness come out of them. Okay. We'll take the onions next, and they can go right in.
These are all just red onions.
Yes.
Red onions.
Yes. Red onions, diced about 1/4 inch.
Okay.
We're going to give that a stir. We're going to let that cook for just a little bit until they get a little tender. The onions.
And remind everyone at home what kind of dish this is and where.
This is a tagine. It's Moroccan. Again, in Morocco, traditionally they would cook it in the tagine. But we like to brown the lamb to give it a nice caramelized flavor, richer flavor. So we use a decorative tagine at Temple.
I love that.
You know, speaking of the restaurant, I mean, can you just tell us some of the things that are going on at Temple? Anybody who hasn't been to Temple, it's a beautiful place to go.
Absolutely. We're going to let those onions cook. We have a jazz brunch coming up on April 22nd. We're going to kick off our spring season with that. And every Friday afternoon at 5 o'clock from 5 to 7 at Temple, we have a pig roast. Complimentary.
Really?
Yes, in Temple Lounge. We get pigs from local farms and we roast them. We serve them with all kinds of mustardas and dried fruits and chutneys that we make at the restaurant from local ingredients.
On those days.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. All right, so from here, we're going to add the coriander and the orange zest.
All right, this is some of the orange zest.
Yes, just like a good handful. Right? Yeah, that's perfect right there.
Great color, too.
It's a very spring dish. It's very vibrant.
And
we're using some coriander seed. We'll take some of those, yes, about a tablespoon of those.
Okay.
Right, there you go.
That in.
Yep. Very nice.
Yes. Now we're going to take the chicken stock, which is right there, and the Pyrex, and we're just going to cover the stew.
Okay.
Right.
That's the liquid.
Pour this in slowly.
Yes.
Excellent.
Just to cover. And this is just going to simmer. And all these flavors are going to come together in here.
Nice.
Give it a nice color.
It really does. It smells so good.
It's the 2 cinnamon sticks, please.
All right.
Oh, even more.
Yeah.
Yum.
I'm just going to put these, drop these
right in. They can come out at the end. And then some honey. We add a little bit of honey.
Wow. A lot of great flavors. And how long will this sit for?
About an hour. We're going to cook it for about an hour.
Just
so
to let it
it's nice and tender, yes.
And for
at a
time's
simmer.
sake, we don't have an hour right here to wait for that, but you have some done. Is that
yes,
right?
we do.
So
I have some right here. This is the
big
finish.
unveil.
Look at that.
Wow.
It does, you know, I mean, in a lot of ways it would remind you of like a beef stew or something like that if someone was cooking.
Oh, gosh.
The smell, you can really smell
it. So good. And you have our couscous here. Which
yes. If you could fluff that up for me.
Okay.
What?
Can we get that?
Yeah.
There we go. And that just gets fluffed up with a fork. You want it to be nice and fluffy when you serve it.
Excellent.
Looking good.
And do we serve this on top of the couscous?
Underneath, the lamb, yes, on top of the couscous. So I'm going to take my tagine.
All right, so you get that off.
Would you mind chopping a little bit of that mint for me?
I can do that.
All right, we're going to put
some of the mint.
a nice sized spoon, yes, please.
While we're doing this, if you want some of these recipes or learn how to make this tagine, you can go to our website, WPRI.com.